Hey guys, how you doing? December 6th, Friday. Now it's very close to Christmas already, right? Just few weeks to go, and then we passed the Thanksgiving already. So, right then, hope we have good result of the stock investment this year, right? We have not a bad result, right? Not really bad result, but to me it's okay, right? Just okay, it's okay, right? Not asking for a very brilliant result, right? It's just okay, it's okay. Because if we took a lot of weeks, then we may get the bad result. We don't know, right? Now we look back, then we should, all of us then is thinking, when we look back, oh, we should invest more, but we never knows, right? There is a good phrase then always in my head is then, in long-term investment, all right, you should avoid the weeks. If you can avoid the weeks, then you already got a good result, right? You don't need to be a Superman. You don't need to be Warren Buffett, right? You don't need to, right? You just better than the normal people a few percent. That's it, right? Just better than the normal investment people, few percent. Then you earn your living, you earn your money for just that 1 or 2%. We know that in the casino, right? In the casino, they only have the probability to win, maybe just more than just 1%, and that 1% make them very rich, right? And only that 1% or 2% then make you lose every time, right? So remember then, avoiding the weeks is very important for investment, right? And today we are going to talk about Samsung. We know the current impeachment now in South Korea, right? And then Samsung is going down. I think that this will be a long term, not a short term, right? Some investor think Samsung is just going down for temporary, 1 year or half year. I don't think so. I think it's a long term. Most probably is because of the AI, right? Of the AI and the Skynet rising up on the high-speed memory, high-speed computing memory. And we know that Samsung has been glorious for so many years since for the Android, right? 2006 or 7, something like that, right? Already it's more than 15 years. And then everything from Samsung or previously is LG, already saturated, right? So many years I use Samsung cell phone for 5 years already. Some of my friends use a Samsung cell phone for more than 10 years, right? And then a lot of people using the TV from Samsung, even the refrigerator from Samsung, right? And the monitor is from Samsung, right? Everything is from Samsung. A lot of things that you can very easy seen to be seen around you then is from Samsung, right? And then they already saturated in the market, right? And then a new thing is coming up, that is AI, right? That is a new thing coming up, right? And then we can see that Samsung is very clearly lag behind of that, right? For AI, nothing there, right? So now today is not only for TSM, have the highest technology of that. Is that like Google, right? Like Amazon. A lot of people is speaking for the new AI chips, and then for the software, and then for the hardware, right? And Samsung seems only have the phone, right? And then you have the phone, you don't have the system. They don't have the system, right? Android is not their system. And then the technology of the AI is not by Samsung, right? OpenAI, ChatGPT, Google, now is for Amazon is coming up, something like that. It's not by them, right? So then they quite passive, right? That means then Androids, they rely on Android more than Android rely on them, right? Now making a cell phone very close to Samsung is not a big problem. You know that, right? Nokia can do that. Sony can do that, right? Huawei can do that, right? No need to say about Apple, right? But not a lot of people can make the AI system, right? So we can clearly see that Samsung is saturated already. And then in this 1 and 2 years, the stock price dropped much vigorously, right? And I don't think that this is just for temporary. Then stay tuned, then we will come to that. Then our Falcon portfolio for 72 months already. That means just a few weeks, then we are 6 years. We have 121%, right? It's quite all right. Then we have compound increment per year about 14.5%, right? Not a very big result, but it doesn't matter. We just want to have 14 to 15% increment per year, right? This already been good enough for us, right? We are not looking for 40%, 50% of course, and that may be good, right? But then you may take unnecessary risks, right? We call it unnecessary then. So we'll come to that. So for any of you have any problem, then you can email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com or leave your comment under the YouTube. This is our cover. Samsung is going down. Then we will come to that very quickly. Adjustment, right, for US stock market, that is normal, right? It rises too much or too quick in a few weeks then after Trump being elected, right? So yesterday there was some adjustment for the Dow Jones, then no problem, dropped up 248 points. And a little bit adjustment for the Nasdaq, dropped at 34 points. Then yesterday closing is 19,700. For US 10-year Treasury yield, that is the normal thing that I'm talking about, right? The stock market rise, then the Treasury bond market should drop. The rate should drop, right? The money flow from the Treasury bond market and then flow out and then go into the stock market. So that is normal, right? This is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio. Then actually you can see that we only have 1 year's loss is 2022, right? When there is the Ukraine war, Ukraine-Russia war begin, and then the US putting up the interest rate, something like that, right? And then other 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 years we got positive, right? And this year we have only 15. No matter, doesn't matter to me, right? Because our target for each year is just 14%, something like that, right? So that's okay to me, right? We don't want to take extra weeks, right? That's what it is. Although we can easily come into 25%, right? For India, then there's a little bit miss on the GDP growth, right? Actually, the people is expecting, right, at the end of September this year, they should have at least 6.7% growth, but now come out only 5.4%, right? So I think that's okay, right? We have up and downs, right? And but the retail inflation rate is growth to 6.2% in October. And the vegetable price surged at 42.2% from 1 year before, and then rise at 36% in September. Right? So they should have a corresponding rise in the economic growth for that. Otherwise, then is right. Everything is very expensive, but the economic growth cannot catch up. Right. So we will wait and see. Right. In the next 1 or 2 quarters, see what happens. OPEC members, right? Then we remember then they said that they will increase the production, but they will delay it, right? Because we know that, right? We know that then they all rely on the oil prices or the selling oil income, right? Then they will delay a month. Delay 1 quarter. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they really will increase the production, right? If they increase the production, then that means the oil price may decrease. Now we know that a lot of vehicles are electrical vehicle, right? EV, and they use less oil. They use less gasoline, right? They can have the electricity for charging by the coal, which is much much cheaper. So that's what it is, right? We'll come to that very soon. Then President soon faces impeachment. Then if then soon is gone, right? Step down. Then there will be a change in policy of South Korea to U.S., to Japan, in Asia, or to China, right? We don't know, right? So that is quite a question mark for the investor on South Korea. That's what it is, right? Especially suddenly for the martial law, right? No one expect that, right? And then it only lasted for 6 hours, then it stopped it, right? So that is an alarm to the investor or to the U.S. Should we be more aware of South Korea than ever before, right? This is what I'm thinking, or I think that this is a lot of U.S. right? Politicians thinking of that, right? We should be more aware of South Korea. Right? They are not very rational, right? MicroStrategy, we talked about that before. Just in 1 or 2 weeks before, she bought a lot of Bitcoins. And then she issued a lot of bonds, right? Raised a lot of money and then used the money to stock up a lot of Bitcoins, right? So yesterday, then suddenly the stock price dropped by 4.8%, right? I don't know if the performance is bad for the balance sheet. I don't know, right? But be aware of. I know that this stock been raised up so quickly, right? And rised really a lot in the past few years. But be aware of that. No PE, no price earning ratio. Just issue the bonds and then bought the Bitcoin. Very simple, right? Very simple. Then borrow money and then buy the Bitcoin and then stock the Bitcoin, right? That is interesting, right? That is interesting. That means the company only to borrow the money and then buy the things, and then that things rise the price, and then you okay, right? Then that's a company like that, right? I don't know, right? But be aware of that, right? You see that since 2020, the stock is rised more than 27 times, 27 times, right? Much better than Nvidia. But she has no business. Just buy the Bitcoin and then borrow the money and then buy more Bitcoin and then borrow more money, something like that, right? Lululemon, right? Actually seems a good news to all of us because Lululemon's, right, international growth much better, but the U.S. sales is slowing. But think about that, right? U.S. sales is most important. Most important. The biggest market for Lululemon, right? Although that is good news for them to have a big growth in the international growth market, then we appreciate that, right? But the point is then she has to think about if it's slowing in the biggest market, then what should she do? Right? What should she does? Right? That's very, very important. Right? And then now is the stock price is 344 something, and the peak is more than 520 something. Then it's still a long road to that. Although then it rised more than 20% already in these few weeks, in these few months, right? From 270 something to now is 344 something, rised more than close to 30%, right? So we come to Samsung, then you can take a look on that, right? The PE ratio very low, 11, with quite a dividend of 2.68%, but for no particular reason, then it dropped it in this 1 year, dropped it much, right? No particular reason. In the past 5 years, only what you can get is only for the dividend, right? For the dividend, every year is 2.68%, but the past 5 years only increased by 7%, not 17, is 7%, and the past 1 year dropped at more than 24%, right? Not a very particular bad years, and then she dropped a lot. We will have a quick glance on the just issued about more than 1 month before, right? The third quarter financial result of this year. This is the third quarter, and we compare with 1 quarter before, right? We compare with the last quarter, but no need to compare with 1 year before. You can see that operating profit lower. I put red cross on that, right? And then the net profit just a little bit better. It's better, but just a little bit. And then you can see the return on equity, no increment, no increment. And then for the EBITDA margin, lower. That means the business performance is not as good as even 1 quarter before, right? On the balance sheet, then she's okay. She had a lot of cash, right, for so many years. You can see that for the, except for other debts that I didn't show on this financial report, the cash she owned it now is much more than the debts, much more than the debts. And then you can see the liability to equity ratio and the debt to equity ratio is okay, right? That means the equity much more than the liability. Okay for now, but not for you to buy this stock. If we compare for the cash on hand, then it's okay. The cash flow from operating activity still okay, right? And the cash level at the end of the period is still okay compared to last quarter and 1 year before, then still okay. Even for the net cash is okay, right? So financially, there's no risks for now. Let us take the symbols for different sectors first, right? Memory, right? For the memory, then is the biggest income of Samsung. And then for the foundry, right? SLSI, right? Samsung Display, right? Monitor, TV, or the monitor for the cell phone, right? Is SDC, and then is for the AI. SMD is for the AI, right? And MX is for the cell phone, smartphone, right? VDDA Harman is for the TV market. So very quickly, then we can see that for the sales, right, still okay. If compared to 1 quarter before, increased by 7%, and per year increased by 17%. And for the memory, still okay, right? But for the last quarter to now, the increment is nearly down to nothing, just 2%. But if we come to the right-hand side, the operating profit, very important parameter, then you can see that I put a lot of clause next to it. You can see that for the total operating profit is, worse than 1 quarter before, decreased by 1.26%, right? For the mobile phone, then is the loss, right? That means the increment is a negative, right? Year over year, right? And for both add up together, even from year over year is also a negative, right? And for the most important part, for the memory, that by quarter is a negative, right? By quarter. And then for display, year over year, negative. Harman TV, also negative. So no matter is the negative on the quarter to quarter, right? That means 1 quarter before, or by year to year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of them, right? Not as good, or you can say is decreased than before. Only one, that is the TV, right? VD or DA is better in both. So this is a very bad performance. See that, right? I think this is structural, right? This is structural because we all know that Samsung been for so many years already, for so many years. And only one thing that they earn a lot of money before is for the memory. For the memory. Even my PlayStation used the memory. Even the PC I'm using now, using that memory. Only this kind of thing, right? Even on the mobile phone, still use the memory. I still use their Samsung cell phone, right? This is my third smartphone using Samsung. I'm very satisfactory on that. But the point is, now the memory, right, the higher speed computing memory now is not by Samsung, it's by Skynex. Also from South Korea, but not Samsung. And then she is quite delaying in the AI, right? So for the others, like TV, monitor, right, foundry, something like that, and she used a lot of money in the foundry, right? But still not as good as TSM, right? Even now, we know that for making the AI, NVIDIA is found TSM, right? Amazon found TSI, Google found TSM, found TSM, right? Apple found TSM, right? Only Intel used Samsung, but Intel is just a joke, right, for the AI. So for Samsung, then no matter it's the AI and the memory, then it's still lagging behind. And I think that is structural, not just this season, not just this quarter, maybe for some time linger on, I don't know, right? So I think that then now for 11, the PE ratio is 11, is quite low. It may have a rebound, right? But then it is a very hard road for Samsung to as good as before, right? Because we know that then she is lagging behind already. So this is the market. The market is looking forward. The market is not looking backward, right? okay, you're still all right, right? But you're just still all right. But they are marching very quickly. So I'm not suggesting you to buy Samsung, the stock. I mean the stock, right? And then we're looking forward to if any good advancement for Samsung in the future. But it's very very hard, right? Because now we know that for the U.S., right? For the U.S., for the AI technology, concentrated on where? U.S. herself, and then Taiwan, and then Japan. Not South Korea. No, not South Korea. Even not in Europe. Right? Although I know that Europe have some. Right? So we need to see, right? But I won't bet on Samsung now. Right? This is my point of view till now. Okay, thanks guys for watching, and then please have your like, comment, and share, and then subscribe. Right? Okay, thank you guys for watching, and then I hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you guys on next Friday. Bye bye.